Do you follow minimalism? Yes, I do actually, but not in a generic way because I don't believe in one-size-fits-all solutions. Hi, it's Ivana here, and today I'm answering some of your questions. I put up a story on Instagram and asked you if you would have any lifestyle or personal development related questions for me. You guys did. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first question is, well, actually the first two questions because they're related. How do I choose a proper highlighter and concealer according to my skin tone? And then things to keep in mind when choosing my foundation. Well, there are a couple of criteria which are important here and I'll share them with you, but I also do want to make a little bit of a disclaimer because it took me quite a lot of experimenting to figure out what worked for my skin and what didn't. The two most important criteria in figuring that out were, first of all, the undertone of your skin. I think the two main undertones in skin tones are yellow and red. For instance, if you're choosing a foundation and you choose a foundation with a red undertone, but like me, you have a yellow undertone, you will look very, very orange. And the other way around, if you're using a yellow undertone concealer or foundation, it doesn't matter, on a red undertone skin, it will just look very, very off. The same actually kind of goes for a highlighter because in highlighter colors, you also have warm tones and cold tones. So if you have, for instance, a cold skin, which I also have, cold tones actually don't look that good. I usually try to warm up my skin, but it could also be different. That's why I'm giving a disclaimer. You will really have to do some trial and errors to just figure out what works for your skin. Something that is also very, very important is the type of skin that you have. So for instance, I have a very oily T-zone, but my cheeks can get actually quite dry. A powder foundation, for instance, would not work on my cheeks. It might like matten up my T-zone, but on my cheeks, it would just be like crumbly and dry. For somebody who has a very oily skin, a powder foundation might actually work better and look better than a liquid foundation. The type of skin you have should actually give you quite some guidance on what formula should be best for your skin, but again, it's a trial and error process. I know I'm not helping, but I am giving you kind of the framework of criteria that you should pay attention to. I think the base criteria are the undertone of your skin and the type of skin that you have. Once you have those two, it's going to be a little bit easier for you to navigate. I hope this helps at least a little bit. Which moisturizing cream do you recommend for winters, even for boys? Actually, the moisturizer that I have been using for the past 2 months, it's from Youth Skincare. The Super Cream 5-in-1 SPF 50 plus moisturizer. It's just really a super cream. It's moisturizing, but it doesn't make my skin oily. It provides protection from the sun, but it doesn't leave those ugly, those white filters that SPF sometimes can leave on your skin. And yes, even in winters, SPF is very important, even when it's gloomy, even when it's cold, because the harmful rays of the sun, UVA, UVB, they are still harming your skin if you are not wearing SPF. So always use SPF, and this one 10/10 can recommend. Like I said, it does depend on the type of skin that you have. I have an oily T-zone, but my cheeks get quite dry easily. So this one has been really good for both, like mattifying my T-zone, but also keeping my cheeks moisturized. I will put a link to their Instagram page down in the description below because made in India and I love it. What are your thoughts on cultural appropriation, wearing Indian clothes in the West as white person? So first of all, let's look at the definition of cultural appropriation. I'm gonna Google right now. Cultural appropriation is the adoption of an element or elements of one culture or identity by members of another culture or identity. This can be controversial when members of a dominant culture appropriate from disadvantaged minority cultures. I think you have to look at the reason why this could be a problem, and it's that people, let's be real, predominantly with a white skin, adopt certain elements from cultures that previously they might have even made fun of, and now they incorporate it in their culture like they invented it, or it was always a part or a trend within their dominant culture. There are certain things which are so ingrained elements of a certain culture where, treating them as a trend or something that you invented in another culture, it's just disrespectful. So if you look at, for instance, a white person wearing Indian clothes in the West, you know, if you treat it as a trend or something that you saw on Instagram and you think it's like cool to do now, that obviously is quite disrespectful to the culture where it's coming from, because you're also not giving the proper credits. You're, you know, acting like it's a trend and something that you invented. However, if you are a huge fan of India, like I am, I can understand that you're so deeply, madly in love with Indian ethnic wear that you would also like to wear it in the West. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, as long as you're really still acknowledging that it is part of Indian culture. For instance, a sari, and you're not pretending that, you know, it's a Western designer who put something like this together, because that also sometimes happens. I do personally have to say that here in India, I love wearing ethnic wear, saris, lehengas, kurtas, anything. But when I was in Amsterdam, or whenever I would come back to Amsterdam from India, I would feel very uncomfortable wearing those things, because they just really didn't fit into Dutch society, and it felt a lot like being a wannabe, like, oh, look at me being Indian in the West. For me, it just felt inappropriate, and I think that's also one of the underlying things. Like, are you giving the respect to the originating culture, but also are you comfortable wearing those things? Because if it makes you happy and you're very proud of spreading Indian culture in the West by wearing the clothes that you want to wear, but you're also giving Indian culture the credits and the respect that it deserves for that Indian ethnic wear, then I don't think there is a problem with it. This is quite a tricky question, I have to say, so I hope my answer was a little bit cohesive. Let me know down in the comments below. Also, if you are an Indian living in the West, for instance, do you still wear saris or kurtas? Does it make you feel uncomfortable, even if you are Indian? I'm very curious about that. So if there are any Indians from abroad watching, let me know down in the comments below. And obviously, if you're a foreigner who loves wearing ethnic wear in the West or in India, also let me know down in the comments below how that makes you feel and how you feel about cultural appropriation. Recommend some hair and beauty products you like the most in India. Oh, I actually made a video about this previously on my main channel, so I will link that video down in the description below, but I could be very brief about this. There are a couple of things that I really love. One of them is coconut oil. I use it as a hair mask to oil my hair. I use it as body lotion. I use it to remove my makeup. Sometimes I will use it as a moisturizer whenever I'm out of moisturizer. Love coconut oil. I'm absolutely obsessed with it. And then we have, in terms of beauty products, obviously this moisturizer from Youth Skincare, 1010 would recommend. Multani Mitti, which is Fuller's Earth as a face pack. I don't know if those are some surprising favorites, but they are all my very favorites. How do you keep yourself motivated? I try to stay in a flow and to really pay attention to what I'm feeling. So even when I wake up grumpy, I don't necessarily try to make myself feel better. I just let myself be. I let myself be grumpy, because I think sometimes in an off mood or having uncomfortable feelings like anger or sadness are actually quite normal. There's this whole toxic positivity movement that really needs to stop, you know, trying to change those feelings, because if you watch that movie Inside Out, you will really understand how they are part of us and who we are, and that those feelings serve a purpose. So to answer your question, in order for me to stay motivated, I really need to leave a lot of room for all my emotions, whatever they are, comfortable emotions or uncomfortable emotions. And whenever I just let them be, I feel like I'm treating myself well, and when I'm treating myself well, I also feel like doing things which are good for me. So yeah, give space for your emotions, and then motivation will flow from that. What is your best discovered health or beauty tip? Meditation and yoga has changed my life, no matter how cliche that sounds. I did a yoga teacher training back in 2015, now exactly 5 years ago. I definitely wasn't planning on doing a yoga teacher training because I thought it was so cliche when coming to India, but then I met my teacher and just all made sense. After that, I haven't been the same person again, because I meditate every single day for an hour. Yes, even on Sundays, yes, even on holidays. Even when I'm tired, I will always wake up 1 hour earlier to meditate for an hour, and it has made the biggest difference for my mindset. Like I said, I have learned how to give a lot of space for my emotions. When I'm doing yoga, I can really just feel my life slowing down, a lot of things processing, my body releasing stress. Honestly, 10/10 can recommend meditation and yoga. How did you know about India? Oh, they were advertising on Instagram actually. I saw the brand, I immediately completely fell in love with it. I reached out to them and I was absolutely privileged to be their ambassador for 1.5 years. In case you don't know, India is an Indo-Western Indian ethnic brand. They do sell worldwide, so in case you're interested in shopping with them, you can definitely do that. They also accept international credit cards. It's great quality, it's great value for money. 10/10 can recommend. Some ways to make money at home in Bangalore. There are so many articles on Pinterest on how to make money from home. You can fill out questionnaires, you can do subtitle writing, you can do transcripts, you can try out new products for tech companies. I haven't tried it out myself, but I have seen so many advertisements and so many articles from bloggers actually finding work from home in that way. If you want to try it out, I would say make a Pinterest account, just search work from home, maybe even specify it with India, work from home in India, and then I'm quite sure you will find some options. So let me know if that works out actually. Do you follow minimalism? Yes, I do actually, but not in a generic way because I don't believe in one-size-fits-all solutions. So for instance, a 12-piece capsule wardrobe, there's no chance in hell. I love fashion way too much for that. I love my clothes way too much for that. But I have become very, very conscious about what kind of things I buy. I only buy things that truly really make me happy and which I think I am going to be able to use for quite a long time. So for instance, this top is from Zara. It's a high street brand, probably not very sustainably made, but I do know that this top, I might literally wear it for 5 years. So in that sense, I do feel that that is quite sustainable compared to, for instance, somebody who only buys sustainable clothes but then wears them for 3 months. Like, that's not sustainable at all, right? So I do feel that there are different varieties of minimalism, and the one that I use is, yeah, just be very conscious about the things that I buy. As you may have seen in my home, I also don't have too many random things. In my living room, there's literally just a couch and some pillows and the TV and one little table, and that's it. Even on my balcony, there's this lounge chair, a small table, that's it. I would love a lot more plants, but I have to see how long I'm going to keep living in this apartment. I do really, really love beautiful things, but I have just become a lot more conscious of what kind of things I buy, and when I buy them, I want them to last me a long time. A wardrobe tour, I would love to do that. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys are interested in that, because for instance, due to minimalism, I stopped buying prints. Prints are extremely volatile, if you could call it like that, because they're so trend sensitive, and also trends. Prints make it very difficult to combine certain clothes together. Yeah, that is one of the things that I really stopped buying because of minimalism, prints. So in my wardrobe, you won't find that many prints anymore. If you guys would like a wardrobe tour, let me know down in the comments below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, put a thumbs up. Also, if you would like to see more of my videos, make sure to subscribe to my channel, click the little bell icon to get a notification, and then I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!